Hi, and welcome to episode 5 of Astrological Intentions. This episode, we're talking about Jupiter trine Neptune, how that works in your spiritual life, Mercury stationing direct, finally, Venus in its own sign Libra, as well as past shows that happened just this weekend, our upcoming shows, the talismans, and also how the solar eclipse in Leo affected both me and my mom.
And me.
Stay tuned.
You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys.
So,
Hello. Welcome back.
welcome back. Let's get right into it because this is the big theme, actually. It's the theme that's been going on really all year so far. And it's this Jupiter trine Neptune. The two big planets.
Huge planets. Yes.
I mean, especially Jupiter. Jupiter is the cosmic Santa Claus, quoted by my mentor, Barbara Shermer, that Jupiter is the planet that anything it touches, it expands, it grows, it brings gifts, blessings, optimism. And when it's in a trine is a 120-degree angle. It brings easy energy. It's almost as if it plops in your lap, like a cat that was here earlier. Mm-hmm. And Neptune is the planet that's, it's pretty far away. And Neptune is the spiritual teacher. It's also...
Neptune's also the god that ruled the sea.
Right. He stands there with the trident. And in fact, that's his astrological glyph.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is the trident. And he rules the sea, as you mentioned. The mystical. The
fluid.
Right. The going into a place where you can go with the flow, where there's sometimes is, dreamy, fantasy,
musical,
creative, imaginative flavoring. So it is about music. It is about poetry. It is about writings, more fiction than anything. It's telling stories, right? But, keeping it on the spiritual nature, it's a place where we can go to heal. It's the dreamland. It's what we can visualize as maybe an idealistic nature. So, the low end, the low polarity.
Yeah, I was just going to start you off on that one. The other side of Neptune is this kind of disillusionment. It's the planet of illusion. So kind of watering things down a little bit, where the water can be a little bit murky, where things aren't necessarily all that clear, especially if there's that turmoil within the water.
Right, where you can't see clearly. And, the whole quote, you're looking through rose-colored glasses. This is this Neptune position. So, it's a place where if you don't really like reality and you don't like how life is moving along,
it will definitely help you to escape reality.
Well, there's that addiction, because this is a strong sign. And remember, Mercury rules Pisces. So it's in Pisces right now. It stays 14 years in Pisces. And it's about halfway through.
I just
the
want to
sign
make
of
sure
Pisces.
you said Neptune rules Pisces, not Mercury, right?
I thought I said Neptune.
Okay. I don't know why I might have heard that. Go on.
Well, that's our next conversation.
I know.
So don't rush this too fast unless I possibly did. But really important just to talk about this trine. Now, this is a big deal, and I'm gathering as when we talk to you about the talismans I'm making, it's basically around this theme. So it asks us to be more spiritual, either as a student or a teacher. So it's asking us to dive down deep into these healing waters where in this trine of Jupiter says all goes well. Humanitarian lessons, act in favor to others. If someone needs your help, be happy. Be happy to know that this is your response to their need, and vice
also,
versa.
I think what just kind of came to mind for me was Jupiter and Neptune, Neptune's all of that water, and Jupiter is kind of that abundance with water. So it's kind of that idea of having your cup completely full, and all of that that's coming up over the edges. That's that kind of overflowing feeling of effortless giving, instead of giving from a half empty cup, giving from an overflowing bucket.
But also on the contrary to that is if you need help, if you're in need of some sort of support, also ask for it. Because as you say, other people's cups are overflowing. So tap into that. And there's no reason in this time period to feel shy or, unclear about what you can ask for. This is also a time to, find out what's true and what's not true, right? Because wearing those rose-colored glasses all the time, it's like that commercial I like for a eyeglass company that, you see beautiful things when you have your eyeglasses on, and then you take your eyeglasses off and you see something that's like, oh, no, he doesn't look like that with my glasses on. He's hot, right? I love that commercial because of this Neptune and Pisces. So, see if there's something going on in the body, if there's some illness, pay attention to it now. It's a time where healing can take place. So this started, we got the first trine December 1st of 2017. So this is late last year. Both Jupiter and Neptune were both in direct motion. Then Jupiter started going retrograde, and they linked back up in a trine May 25th of 2018. And then here we go, August 19th, which is this coming Sunday, which is why we're talking about it now, it's their last connection in a trine. And this is a big deal because the next time this will happen, I had to go to July of 2026. So this is 8 years from now.
A while.
That we'll get this trine again. So let's bring that in this entire week. Know that, look to see what's real and to look to see what's not real. And for both of us being our suns in Pisces,
we're good at this.
This Neptune has or will hit, it's already hit your sun. It is on my natal Mercury right now, but it won't hit my sun until 29 degrees of Pisces. But any Pisces sun signs will be getting this over this 14-year period. So anybody that has a birthday, this Neptune hitting like right about now, well, actually, what am I saying? It's the March birthdays of Pisces. So that's just about March 13th, 14th, and 15th that is getting this Neptune on them. And actually, it's an interesting time. You may want a little mini reading regarding that because it can be a time of confusion, but yet incredibly spiritual awakenings.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've had a Neptune transit, and I realize it does, you kind of feel like you're in the middle of this really vast body of water. It's very foggy. You're on a little boat and you have no oar.
No direction.
And
the fog just came in.
And so you're very unclear and feeling a little bit lonely.
So there's two other birthdays I'd like to mention, and that's that May 25th time frame and August 19th, which is coming up Sunday, which is, what is developing in your spiritual world. Pay attention to that right now. It is key to kind of focus on that, even though there may be unfocus, but enjoy the ride if you're on a particular ride. Neptune is a 164-year cycle. It won't even be back in Pisces in our lifetime. Anybody that's on the call, it won't be in our lifetime. So it's in a sign of its domain. So it does its best work there. So I bring that to.
And maybe even like a practical exercise would be something with Jupiter.
Like, what are you going to say?
Expanding.
Like, take a bath?
Definitely take a bath. Neptune, all that water. Jupiter, the abundance of the water. Yeah, take a bath. But what I really was going to say is maybe check out different healing modalities, different spiritual sects. Pop around and see what spiritual lessons can be learned in this time, because Jupiter is going to be throwing them at you like confetti.
And actually, I'll bring up a few names as we get to our part 3 of this podcast on some of the spiritual leaders that I was just with just this past weekend, which was a beautiful lead up to this Jupiter Trine Neptune transit we're having. So let's go into the next thing, which is the famed Mercury retrograde. We are still in Mercury retrograde, folks.
Still. And even still, it's showing up in magazines. We were browsing through a little magazine, and there's some even nail polish, the Essie nail polishes. There's a big advertisement for them that says Mercury in retrograde. It says, Mercury is on, keep calm, wear alone or over polish. They're a little cosmic color, which is just so funny that so many people are talking about Mercury retrograde.
I mean, pop culture, it's a big deal.
There's an emoji that has...
No way.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it just says Mercury retrograde, and the face is just kind of shuddering.
Well, it's because they don't know how to work with the energy, right? That's because it's gotten such a bad rap.
It's got a bad rap.
Let's talk about that Mercury on Sunday, also August 19th. I mean, this is a big day. But this is the day that Mercury stations, which it means slows down in whatever direction it's been going. And this time it turns direct. So it's moving out of retrograde stations, and it goes slow. It's a really slow, it's like having to go around the pole, right? So it goes very slow, and it stations direct on Sunday, August 19th at like crack ass early in the morning at 11 degrees of Leo. So
a lot of Leo action.
Yeah. So anybody that has a birthday at Leo 11, which would be August 3rd, has anyone from August 3rd to August 23rd, but especially that August 3rd date is getting this hit. And my question for you is, what do you need to remember or to review? Is there another way possibly that you could be doing what has been in transition for you over this last 3 weeks? Because especially this August 3rd, it stations right at that 11 degree Leo point and stays there for a day, which is pretty long for this planet as it's moving. And in fact, that's the day, well, not that exact day on Sunday, but 2 days later, we have that on our calendar to make our podcast announcement.
Dun, 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 dun.
We haven't said anything to anybody unless you've met us in person throughout our travels that we're even doing this podcast.
I did take one picture on Instagram. Just one.
Okay. Okay. And we've mentioned it to anybody that we've been doing readings on to catch up with us here. Thank you for downloading. A lot of people have been on this, and we haven't even made the announcement yet. Yeah. So that's going to go out on the 21st. So anyone that needs to be making an announcement, whether it's
a great time.
Right. If in a business setting that needs to have a negotiation, an agreement made, even in our personal lives, in our private lives, that we need to come to an agreement. So wait till this Sunday. You have a few more days to wait, and then start making some of that movement forward, starting that action. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then anytime past that, because that's when it's no longer time to redo, review. It's time to put into action.
Yeah, maybe some pen to paper, because Mercury loves and rules handwriting as well.
Yes, and we still, remember, we're still in Mars retrograde. That stations direct later this month. We'll talk about that in our next podcast. So that's the big two things that are going on. I do want to briefly talk about the Venus has just moved into her own sign, Libra.
She's so happy.
She's very happy. And if we can keep Venus happy, we're in a good place. And in Libra, it's the air sign. It's the cardinal air. It is about relationships. It's about aesthetics. It's about beauty. It's about
balance. It's the scales.
Yeah, it's diplomacy. It's just kind of doing the right thing for all involved. And that leads me into...
What talismans have you been working on?
Oh, did you get that? Yes. I did. This morning, around 9:43 a.m. this morning, Chicago time, Venus was rising over the horizon in her own sign, which meant
the moon.
With the moon was applying to Venus. And what was on the ascendant? Libra. So we had Venus, ascendant, moon, all in Libra. And so to draw more beauty into your life, I draw my desired situation or person to me easily. I attract more glamour and good luck that is reliable and solid. So that, by repeating that, whoever's listening today, this is what is going on. I've got a talisman made because that doesn't happen very often, where Venus just goes into her own sign, with the moon applying to her as she's rising up over the horizon.
That's a good, comfy position for Venus.
Yeah, she likes to be noticed and seen. That's why it rules beauty and aesthetics, especially in Libra. It rules money and worth and self-worth when it's in Taurus. So we'll leave that to when she moves into her other sign of Taurus. Let's talk about upcoming talismans. Well, my whole week, starting tomorrow evening, which is August 15th, I'm going to grab the Neptune trine Jupiter. We can't get enough of this. Like I said, this won't happen again for 8 years, and it won't be with Neptune in its own sign.
Pisces, yeah.
Pisces. So, we're in water signs here. Jupiter is in Scorpio. So tomorrow evening, August 15th, around 8 p.m., I'll be making a talisman to heal in a profound manner. The affirmation: I find the right healer, the right modality, or the right spiritual path to take me forward to the profound power of hope.
Isn't
that awesome?
Yeah.
I'll be able to get this because we've got the ascendant as Pisces, which makes Neptune the ruler. So we could go more for that healing in a profound manner. The next evening, Thursday, August 16th, it's really in the afternoon, we have Sag rising now, and the moon is in Scorpio, so it's coming up to the Jupiter. So this is another moon, Jupiter, trine, Neptune, to have the courage to chase a dream. Boom, boom, boom. The affirmation is, and repeat this: I recognize this flash of insight or intuition that confirms I'm on the right path. The pieces are falling into place right now. Yeah, so that's another great
cool
one that's coming up for us in the next 2 days. And then, and I had to pull that in because as Jupiter is moving toward, and actually as Jupiter's moving toward in a direct motion to apply in this trine to Neptune, Neptune just went retrograde, and now Neptune is moving backwards toward Jupiter. So that's when they link up, is August 19th. And seriously, it's about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So
bright and early.
So I'm grabbing the energy as it is applying, where it's the best time to, as a surfer, to grab the wave, to go the longest and the farthest. So that's when I'm doing that. That's
all for the talismans. That's great. Those are cool ones coming up. And also, you were just in Skamania, Washington. Took the red eye back and had multiple stories to tell.
I haven't done the red eye in about, 20 years. I don't even know. It was like the new thing, the red eye, maybe 25 years ago. I've taken the red eye twice in 1 week. And, the only way you can get a red eye is either from coast to coast. And so, especially if you're coming back from the West Coast,
Yeah.
No, it's into Chicago, but still they do have this red eye, and it kept getting delayed and delayed. And of course, Mercury's in retrograde, so all right with me, but not really. Not really. It was just we didn't leave there till 1:30 in the morning. But I was in Celebrate Your Life at Skamania, Washington. It's their intimate, private event with 250 people max.
And that is a private one. Wow.
Yeah. And Liz Dawn, who is the co-founder with her mother, has run Mishka Productions for 26 years, really does it right with pulling in great speakers with just a small amount of attendees. And I mean, the Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's one of your favorites, Greg Braden, Carolyn Mice, Sunny Dawn Johnson was there. She ran a post conference. Denise Lynn, she rang us in through the drum sessions and going out into the nature for our opening ceremony with the drums. John Holland, he and Lisa Williams brought in spirits that have passed for the ones that needed to hear messages from their loved ones. So, wow, James Timon. It was just a really beautiful ceremony, whole weekend where I got to meet incredible, incredible people. So that's where, and they run this private one once a year. Their next big one is their signature event in November in Phoenix. We'll talk more about that, but you could probably go on to our website as soon as Alex gets it up.
Right. Pretty soon our upcoming events will be up there. Right now we just have the retreats up there and the Wanderlust events.
But what is coming up this weekend, I'm going solo again to the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo in Skokie, Illinois.
Right here in town.
It's the no-brainer for me. It literally is 15-minute drive. I have my own Betty Bye.
They bring in a lot of people too.
They do.
A lot of people curious about, different spiritual teachings, different crystals.
And they have each vendor, which there are 170, I'm guessing, that have the opportunity to do a 50-minute presentation. I'm not doing a presentation. My presentations are always talisman making.
And what are tickets
events.
like? $15?
They're $12. They're
$12.
And actually, can I do a real quick plug in case you don't have time? If anybody gets to us, I have 3 free passes to this weekend, which is Saturday and Sunday, the August 18th and 19th in Skokie, the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo. If you can get the information to Alex.
Private message us on Instagram or Facebook or email me at info@intentionbeads.com.
I have 3 free passes. So I will be up on the upper level in the hallway, which is my favorite place. It's bright light, and I have my own space. So I'd really like to say I'm doing mini readings, but I haven't talked to you about that to see if that's a possibility. So check in and see some of our new talismans that will be available. And then what are you upcoming? Yeah, you're off.
I got another free weekend. It's
ding, 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 ding. This doesn't happen very often.
It does not happen often. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about our past weekends with the solar eclipse in Leo. It's been an interesting weekend, how we both had these personal transits going on for us. Mine was on my moon. It was a solar eclipse on my moon, and yours was a solar eclipse on your ascendant. Mm-hmm. So that was more of showing off what you're made of, what how you want to be presented in the spotlight in social arenas. And my moon was a little bit more about my family, my home, feeling comfortable. I went to one of my good friends' birthday parties in Michigan, then drove on down to Indiana for another lake party with my uncle, and then got to go to Cincinnati and visit both my grandmothers. So it was a tight friends and family weekend for me, and that was definitely how that solar eclipse worked for me.
Yeah, especially with the moon, right? The moon, it being on your moon, meaning girlfriends, feeling comfortable, kind of being in that tight knit, and especially, grandmothers.
Yeah.
Kind of that ancestral moon, even though I wasn't there. But the way it worked for me is that usually you and I are always together at our events.
Yep.
And you see both of us. But the fact that it was on my ascendant this time, it was like I stood alone, that I could do this. And I found, Alex, I could do it without you. I could do it without you. I did okay. I get a star. Yeah. And then I did it okay. I did it brilliantly, actually. And I gathered, man, wait till I tell you some of the stories and the people that I met. I know we haven't had any chance to talk. We just got back in yesterday. But some of the people I met with and hung out with was incredible. Yeah, so that's how that solar eclipse played on my ascendant, because it was about drawing people to me, into my environment, into my situation, or so be it, toward my table, right? Yeah. So, we'd like to know how the solar eclipse affected you. Did it affect you at all? I know that we weren't able to see it, so don't think that it doesn't play out, if it's not visualized at the exact moment.
Yeah, the eclipses have a little kind of residual time that they can be working, right?
Well, it's true. For about a year and a half, and in going over this 19-degree Leo, anytime a planet will come along and clip that again, may activate that same energy, that placement on your natal chart. So that's why, and I'll be following that. I didn't look this week to see any planets that are clipping that. I really don't think anything is. As you continue to talk, I'll look quickly.
Well,
except for the moon will do that often, but it won't do that until next month.
So while she's looking,
well, actually, can I just interrupt again?
Okay, wow. Yes, you may.
Because I knew there was this. We're talking about. Let's go back to Mercury. Mercury stationing at 11 degrees of Leo, that hits that eclipse point on August 30th. So where Mercury is moving forward now and goes from 11 degrees up to 19 Leo by August 30th. So there's that. So let's pay attention on the 30th, which
to break that down a little
Thursday.
bit more for everybody.
So anytime you have a major point, which is certainly a solar eclipse, hitting a degree in the sky, right? That then makes it an important position, 19. And any time over the next year, some astrologers say 6 months, some say a year, some say a year and a half. Let's just watch for the year and a half because it hit us specifically on point. Mm-hmm. That any planet coming over that at 19 Leo will re-energize that initial ecliptic point. So for the next one that you and I will watch for sure, anybody that had that hit their 19 Leo at some point, and get a hold of me if you want to know. If you don't know, if your sun's not there, then maybe your moon or your Leo, your rising sign or your ascendant, mm-hmm. or your midheaven or your IC or any of the personal planets. So we'll be watching on the 30th, which is a Thursday. Okay.
Cool.
And we'll report on that too.
Awesome. Well, always keep in touch with us. Private message us on Instagram, Facebook. Well, Instagram, I'll give it to you. It's at intention_beads. Facebook, you can always search intention space beads. And of course, email us. We would love to hear from you. And Also, private message us because we want to pull somebody up on the show next week. We want to do your reading on the podcast live. So reach out to me if you're interested in that, and we'll get you set up.
Okay. See you next Tuesday.
Until then.
Bye-bye, Jupiter, Trine Neptune. Be happy. All goes well.